Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday. Glad to have you here this morning. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Tyler. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of trading futures. And it's going to be a good time. We're going to be talking about fair value gaps, order blocks, order flow. We're talking about break of structure, sweeps of liquidity. Anything that you can think of or have questions on, feel free to ask. And stick around. It's going to be a good time. We'll take some trades here, hopefully today. Yesterday, we went 2 for 4 trades yesterday. Today, let's make that better today. Always trying to improve. So let's lock in. Let's thank the Lord. And let's go ahead and get started. Father, we just thank you for another opportunity to trade today. Thank you, Father, that provision comes from your hand. Not only does it come from your hand, but it is you that has given us the ability to produce wealth. So, Father, we just lean into you, to your leadership, to your faithfulness, to you, just your provision that you have for us today. We receive and we don't chase. We receive what you have for us today. Lord, let your name be magnified in every single one of our lives today in Jesus' name. And everyone said, amen. Good morning, folks. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully, you're glad you're here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market. Let's say hello first. Good morning, BC, John, Jonathan, MJ. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are rocking and rolling this morning. Lawrence, good morning. Willie, good morning. Jason, how you doing? How you Jesus, Sean, I'm sorry, there's a tickle in my throat. Russ, Harry, good morning. Alex, what's up? Motel, I don't even know what that is. Cool, 9K. Chucky, good morning. Marty, good morning. Okay, glad that you guys are here. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start from a weekly perspective because today's the last day of the month. Last day of the week. And we've had quite the spurt. We've reached, guess what we reached? We reached our volume imbalance on the weekly time frame. We have tagged it. And since then have been consolidating sideways here over the last hour and 30 minutes almost. If we drag from this high to this low and we do our TGIF, we have a retracement area of 25,308 to 25,423. I think that's in the cards. Let's drop down to the daily. If we look at the daily, we have no other liquidity down here except for this Friday midpoint from October 17th. If we are going to go lower, that is going to be my point of interest. If not that, then I'm looking for retracements back into the previous day range. Previous day range is sitting at 25.83. This is the daily time frame. Where you can see the high and lows are right here. So I want to see us get back up into the discount portion of the range. We've done all this. We may get some animation to the downside, but ultimately I would like to see us retrace to there. I think that would be fitting to end the week that way. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame. We have our range that we're dealing with. I like it from this drop. Our mid 50% is right here. So that lines up with this 4-hour order block. The 4-hour order block sits right here. Our 30% retracement level for TGIF is right around that 4-hour order block. I like that level. We got London high, so we have liquidity to the upside. That is interesting. Nonetheless, we have a 4-hour fair value gap here and a inversion fair value gap here. IFVG, we'll add that right there. That 4-hour IFVG also overlaps with the higher 4-hour fair value gap. So we'll just leave that there in place of that 4-hour fair value gap. Let me shrink my face. I'm sorry. Trading from Kenya, welcome. Let's draw, we have another 4-hour fair value gap that we'll note here. I might change it to an hourly because we're going to drop down to this hourly and see what we got. I already got the hourly marked out there. So this 4-hour looks actually more appropriate. The hourly has already been tagged. We got some, we have an hourly here right in this hourly order block. And a 1-hour order block right there. $15-minute, everything's been mitigated here. Nothing we're missing as far as unmitigated. If we look left, that volume imbalance is sitting inside this 15-minute fair value gap. And we have nothing below that. We do have a 15-minute inversion fair value gap sitting right here. If we dip lower below this, this is what I would be watching, and that is anchored at 7 a.m. on October 23rd if you want to know exactly what IFVG I'm talking about. We have our new week opening gap from October 20th. And the other thing is we've also been in a market maker sell model. So the question is do we want to finish this market maker sell model? If we do, Friday's midpoint is the target. So I'm open to both ideas right now, and it is possible to achieve both items, I think. This is 300 points. That's a tall order. I've marked out our London high. We've ran our London low. I've marked out midnight open already. And I've marked out our opening range gap. And we really don't have a significant... we do. I think we should mark it. Let's drop down to the 1 hour and mark our new day opening gap, which is sitting right here. And here, open there, and That is new day. So we have our new day opening gap marked. So that's sitting right above the 20% retracement level. So with all this consolidation, I would like us to see a wick lower and then move. That would be my preference. Without the sweep of liquidity, it's not as attractive. However, we do have a nice opening range gap right now. I like the idea of the 930 model as well. I like the way the 930 model looks. If you go back and you test it, it will hit Friday's midpoint on Monday, on a Sunday or Monday, like 70% of the time. And when it doesn't, it will hit that week, like during that week, like 80-90% of the time. And if it doesn't, it will come back to it and then reverse from it. I don't know why. It just does. All right, I think I got everything. I got my accounts set up. We've hit 50% here. $9.30 did not play out this morning. Let's see if we get this sweep. We'll go ahead and mark our 930 level here. No breakers here. Mm-hmm. Friday, we got 10 a.m. orange folder news. Okay. Five-minute candle is going to be closing outside of this consolidation. First presented fair value gap and a 1 minute order block. I can't give any financial advice, speak love fluently. I can tell you what I trade, and that's all I trade. I don't give financial advice. You need to talk to an advisor. If I had a screenshot, that would be put up right there, right now. Indices are always good. I invest in indices just to get a collection of all the different stocks. I also have invested in Tesla, gold, Nvidia, crypto, in different varying amounts, whatever your risk tolerance is. Snake oil. I really don't like when we sell off right away. Really don't. I do have a model for taking the 930, but I think I am going to go back and I'm going to do a different test for it. I did a 1-to-1, a 1R trade setup for it. I think I want to go and see what would happen if I do a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3 risk to reward on it, because I think there's some opportunities there, and I just need it to be worth the risk that you'd put in. We got an inversion right here. It might be worth seeing if it wants to push higher towards this wick right here after hitting a major point of liquidity. I'm gonna try that right here. It's sitting 71. Stops at break even. It's gonna stop me out before it gives me what I want. All right, stopped at a break even. Wanted to see if it was going to give us a very exaggerated reaction, and it still might, but I got stopped out. Break even, no loss on that. Did it actually, my question is, did it give me an inversion? No, it respected it. Why did I close that? Because we swept liquidity. That's why. We swept liquidity. I knew. I was like, why did I do that? What was my logic behind that? I knew there was a reason. On the 30-second. Right there. Oops. Large 5-minute candle here. Kind of range bound at the moment. The 15-minute closes here in 24 seconds. And then we have the 60-minute. Yeah, I mean, I would like to take a short. I think we need to get back up here a little ways. I think I want to take a short here. I want to play the continuation. I'm going to set it right at that high. I only did 2 contracts because it's a continuation and we're really low and I'm trying to play that continuation. I feel like we're going to get that drop. 9, you're asking 37. Sorry, what's your question? 37 and 38. 37. What about the two fair value gaps at 937? Looks like we're gonna get stopped out there. That's okay. Took a small position for a continuation trade to see if it would work. I only have a 937 fair value gap and a 936 fair value gap here. So I'm watching this one hold. That one and the 5-minute fair value gap was my primary reason for considering that short right there. We wicked into it. It's interesting that we just go right back down. Let's just wait and see. We got 10 minutes. Yeah, I just don't know if we're going to... the way it's looking, looks like it wants to continue lower. We'll see. And if it goes lower, I think it could be very, very aggressive. That would be really nice. But we would have to actually get it. The last trade, it stopped me out. Self short because it's too clean. Not necessarily. It doesn't have to do that at all. If it's heavy, and right now, in my opinion, price action is heavy. We're consolidating right here. Break of range. Yeah, there's a lot of range here. These candles are not small. Means that's 70 points. You could almost like take a short here and wait till it gets towards the bottom and basically profit from it. You think it's going up? Is that what you're saying, BC? Good morning. Oh yeah, 10 a.m. Yeah, I don't disagree. We'll see if what it wants to do here. Stay range bound until then. I just use price action. That's primarily what I use. Liquidity points, fair value gaps. I'm looking into using a little bit of ATR, the average true range, to get an idea of how much a candle could move in a given moment. Let's see if we reject this first presented fair value gap right here. And order block. $50 retracement. Yeah, this was the 50% retracement right here. We came back up to the 1 minute order block right there. Hit that and rejected the first presented fair value gap. Let's see if we get an exaggerated push to the downside here. I think that's possible. We got 1 minute till news. Or 17 seconds, I should say. I'm not arguing with this one. One micro lotto short. So the rejection of this, for those that are interested, I talked yesterday about an opening range breakout. This order block was the opening range breakout. And we tagged that 5 minute opening range breakout and reverse. So that 5 minute opening range breakout strategy printed. We've taken like 50 some trades. It's about a 52%, but it's a 1 to 2 risk to reward, and it's up like $15,000. But I want to do some more heavy testing on it. I want to test out a couple different. If I was to go strictly a 2R trade or a 3R trade, and I'm really liking the 3R trade, but when I was looking at some of the numbers, I only took like 10 trades or something like that, and or I don't know exactly how many trades I took, but the success rate was like 40%, which is not a big deal when you have a 3R trade, but it's really hard to convince people to want to take have a 40% win rate. It's hard to convince people. Folks, I think I'm taking a short. Not because of where we are here. I got in a little earlier with a lotto trade with John, or with BC. I only took one micro. That was 2 months, I think. It's either 2 or 3 months, one or the other. But I explained in my backtesting that some of the data I think is a little skewed, because when I thought about getting out, and I would, when you're testing something, you don't get out when you probably should. You just see if it goes a little bit farther. And so when that would happen, I would adjust and go back to my normal whatever. So I need to properly test it as like a blind test, and not make any adjustments if I really want to get accurate data. No, Edward, everything I do is on Tradezella. Best trading backtesting tool that I have purchased. I have a link down in the description of the video. It will give you, I think it gives you a discount off your first month or something. Yeah, I might just hold this either to break even or run the lows, to be honest with you. I really want it to run lower. So that's what I'm in right now. So I have my stop at break even. And I'm not probably going to sell it. I think I want to target this to prove my point, BC. I think I want to target that Friday midpoint, 732. That would be that would be literally the biggest trade I've ever taken. I think that's going to require, it's going to really force me to hold. We do have another liquidity point. I may consider selling before then at this level here, 24,800 or 804. But to me, this is an education trade. It's a single micro, and I would want to force myself to hold for a larger move. Liquidity. We've already ran liquidity here, right? So if we're making a lower low, we either target our next liquidity point because there's nothing in between there, or we go for the moneymaker, Friday's midpoint. I would say predominantly I would have closed my trade on something like this already. So I want to force myself to hold longer. It's very difficult to force yourself to hold longer, but the only way I know how to actually get these bigger trades is to force yourself to hold longer and to forfeit the profit that you've made. So I'm, in essence, forfeiting $200 on this personal account trade to see if I can make $400 with targeting these lower targets. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And it didn't cost me anything but what wasn't mine because I didn't close the trade. And based on the way this is moving, I could get stopped out. Isn't that crazy? It's things like these. It's like it's very hard to push past this. For me, it's been difficult to get past this point of 40, 50, 100 handles because I'm going to get stopped out here. Let's just wait for it. We got a volume imbalance right there that it could be reaching up for. Maybe I could re-enter it. But there's this wall that I've been hitting, and it's been on trying to get these larger trades. It has been difficult. All right, so stopped out at break even. I was up 100 points at one point. But trying to get that's been the hardest part of my journey so far, is trying to not cut my trades off early, but then be wise with taking profits at the same time. It has been difficult. You see how it came all the way back up to that volume imbalance and then tagged it? I'm going to take one more shot right here. Stop's just going to be right at the high. See if we were just rebalancing this volume imbalance. And if I get stopped out there, I mean, that's 20 points for what I've seen. Put it right above. The 15-minute time frame is going to close here in a minute, and that will look bullish. And I think yeah, there, I've got stopped out. I'm not going to do any more with that. Definitely the hardest part of my journey so far is increasing size. Wanting to increase size, want to hold for the larger trades. That two combination has been difficult. I mean, yeah, for sure, Walter. For what I'm referring to is when I trade with a goal in mind, not a financial goal, with an education goal. So the trade that I took was a single micro. It's not the size that I normally take. I'm anywhere from 3 to 5 micros. So I took a single micro based on us hitting this first presented fair value gap and order block right here on the 1 minute time frame to see if we can run to a target. This low was not the target. That was my confirmation that I was on the right side. So I wanted to hold to see if we could actually do this instead of what I normally would do is take profit. Now, since I only took 1 micro, I couldn't take a partial. A partial wasn't an option. So I traded with the intention not for profit, but for education. The education being, can I force myself to hold for a bigger move and forfeit the profit that I currently have in hopes that I'm on the right side? So think of it this way. When you take let's just use this as an example. Okay, let's just say we want to go long right now. And I'm going to set my stop, at this low. Okay? If I'm going to set my stop at this low, for people that have a win rate of, let's say, 50%, they're going to want to go with a 2R trade. This is a 2R trade right here. So that they're profitable. You can have a 50% win rate and be profitable if you take this type of win rate. My win rate is around 50%. So I could take a 1R trade, but based on just my trade knowledge, my risk-taking abilities that I'm currently doing, if I was to only focus on this, I would be break even. So what I'm attempting to do is increase I have 2 ways to improve as a trader. I can improve by being more patient and taking more selective trades, which is an area of focus. Or also I could focus on taking longer or bigger trades, 2R, 3R trades. So let's just say you want to increase your win rate to you want to increase to a 3R trade. Well, that is what it would look like. The only way you're going to get something like this is if you force yourself to hold through 1R, through 2R, and actually go for what your target is. You can have a higher R multiple and then have a lower win rate. So if I can improve both of those, I'll be immensely more profitable. I have found in that journey of trying to increase both or even one of them, it's difficult. It's difficult to do because you're dealing with your emotions. In this case, I'm just being I'm not trying to hide anything for you guys. I'm just being transparent. This is the piece for me that has become my area of focus. When I take a trade right here, let's say that's where I got in. Where was it? It was right around here. Okay. If I put my stop where it should be above this first presented fair value gap, and then it should be above C1 of the fair value gap, it would be right here. Okay. So that's a 56 handle. That's a 56 handle stop loss. To get to 3R, I would have to go to here. But at some point, when as far as protecting myself, when we break this structure and close below it, that's when I move my stop to break even, but I still go for my 3R target. Or I go for what I was really hoping to get. So I managed my risk appropriately by removing my risk altogether because we dropped so aggressively and then closed below this low. But price just came back up and stopped us out. So when you have a larger target, you're also going to have a lower win rate as well, simply because you're asking for price to move in a bigger direction without a significant pullback. So it's this tug and pull like that I'm trying to navigate and figure out what is the best scenario for me. And then once I have that solidified, then I'm going to I'll be able to do it. But you have a mix of trying to figure that out. I mean, I could just take 10 handle trades. I could take 10 handle trades. Well, what's his face? Tim Trades, is that who it is? He only takes 10 handle trades and he's profitable. And I started out that way, but I don't want to stay at just a 10 handle trade. Maybe I should. I have moments of hitting my big targets. Just, was it 2 days ago? We had a 100-point move. This was a 100-point move that I could have closed on. So that's the back and forth that I'm trying to identify where I want to land as far as I continue to grow as a trader. But right now I've been wanting the bigger moves. And so I've been willing to say, okay, I'll move my stop to break even to manage my risk appropriately and make it a free trade, but I'm not going to close the trade early. I'm going to try to let it play out. I couldn't take partials on that trade. I only had one micro. So, John, the only thing I don't like about that is you increase your risk a lot by doing that. And that's primarily why I've been wanting to move away from that. You do a 10-handle trade, I mean, you would have to do a 1-to-1. So you're expecting not to have your contracts hit 10 handles because your target's 10 handles. And so your risk is just significantly more, in my opinion. That's what these bigger trades and smaller size is more attractive, is you can have multiple losses and still come out significantly green. That's really what's attractive. And I've done that in Gray Schoolery, where I would have 2 micros, set one to break even, take profit, and then set the other one to break even and let the trade play out. Are you still in that 1 micro, BC? Have you considered a 10 handle trade but increase your size? I think I answered that, John. I think I'm seeing the 4-hour sweep of liquidity here. I see the hourly there. Let's see the 30 minute. 15 minute. This looks prime for a nice pump higher now. I appreciate it, guys. We didn't wick up into this 15-minute fair value gap yet. Oh, let's do our daily affirmation. Here we go. I don't know how many likes we got, but we're just going to go with it. Hit the like button for me if you want to see the daily affirmation. And we will rock and roll here, and we'll do that now. All right, our affirmation for today. Why is it so big? I don't get it. All right, 11:7/25. This is based on Proverbs 3:5. Today I trust the Lord completely. I release the need to control and lean on his wisdom, not on my own. He directs my path with peace, clarity, and purpose. I love how these lines up with my quiet time, but also lines up with what we're talking about today. I think the key in all of this, to encourage you guys as well, is that in your trading journey is don't give up. Don't give up. And don't compromise in that process. And the compromise is shooting yourself in the foot by over leveraging, over trading, going on tilt. These things are shooting yourself in the foot and trying to take things into your own hands. But as you trust in the Lord, lean not in your own understanding on why this, why that, how this, how that, but go down the trading journey of education, studying, backtesting, putting your confidence in the Lord. For me, it's just a matter of time if you have confidence in the Lord. So that's our affirmation for today. So this can tell you where our bias is. I mean, the bias is, because we closed below all of this, it is to the downside. That's just where it's at. $10:34, middle of the hour, 30 minutes. DTJ, can I ask you how long did it take until your bills started being covered? I started being able to pay bills about 18 months in. Now, in that process, there would be dry months. So here's the thing about trading is if you're anticipating that when you make your first paycheck from trading through a prop firm, let's just say, and let's say it's in the month of January, you're starting all over in the month of February. You have to do it all over again. So there will be dry months. I've had dry months. I've had multiple dry months. Then I've had consistent profitable months. So it's a continual journey as you're going. Just because you have one profitable month does not guarantee you that you'll have the next month profitable. There's so many lessons to learn as you trade, as you go through this journey of becoming, a profitable trader. So if you're looking for a timeline to where you could start seeing you pulling money out of the market, I would say 18 months is what it took for me. Here's the thing. I think you will know when that happens. So I'm the type of personality, and my job allowed me to fully commit. It's just how I am. I really struggle with doing multiple things and have multiple focuses. But because of me being a realtor, I was able and still am able. I'm still a realtor. I don't help nearly as many people as I did before. But my mornings I dedicate to day trading. In the afternoons, I stick to what my day job, I guess you would call it. As an encouraging vintage trader, Jacob didn't give up. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Joseph. I'm thinking of Joseph. I'm thinking of Abraham. Isaac and Jacob. They were all promised these things from the Lord. Abraham was promised to have a son. It took him 15 years to have a son or something like that. David got a promise that he was, his brothers were going to bow down to him. I don't even know how many years he was enslaved and imprisoned as a result of it. I think we underestimate the amount of time it takes for God to work in and through us to become the man and woman we need to be able to carry on the promise that he has for us. I think that journey is a lot longer than most people anticipate. So my second attempt got stopped out by a wick, and since that wick, I got stopped out right there. And since then, we've rolled over. Stop loss placement is, oh man, it can be amazing and it could kick yourself in the butt. That's crazy. I think it was right there, right? Or was it on this one right here? I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I meant Joseph. Joseph was in prison for how many years? David also. David got the promise that he was going to be king, and for how many years did he have to run and hide from Solomon? Was it Solomon or Saul? King Saul. How many years did he run and hide? I'm just saying, like, you look at the model in the Bible for the men of faith that has been written about for all generations to see, and I can't see any of them doing it day one. The only one that I think is a radical transformation, that was Paul. But even with Paul, after his conversion, he went away for 3 years. He went away for 3 years, and you don't hear from him or about him for 3 years. So for a minimum of 3 years, it says that he was taught by the Lord for 3 years. So imagine the amount of time. He called himself the Pharisees of Pharisees. So if he committed himself to a wrong doctrine before, and how he was the Pharisees of Pharisees during that 3 years, think of the commitment level he had. The unrelenting desire to grow in the Lord, to know him, to know his precepts, to understand his kingdom. It had to be, easily 8 to 12 hours daily he probably spent waiting on the Lord, listening, reading, cultivating a relationship. Yeah, but we want to get the promise. We receive the promise. We want to hear from God what we're supposed to do, and then we want to walk in it by tomorrow. I'm talking to myself. I'm reminding myself. BC, take note. It's going to be this level right here. It's going to be this level right there. 24,720. That is going to be the level. Way to go, John. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to end the day, protect my capital, and come back with fresh perspective next week. I have a to-do list that I want to get accomplished today, and we're already well into the trade to the downside, so I'm going to call it here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. We will be back here on Monday, rocking and rolling. So thanks for hanging out. God bless you guys. Stay safe, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right? Bye-bye.